Hey guys, welcome back to the Curly Reader. My name's Amanda, and today we're going to be doing my October plan with me. So this is late once again, I know, I'm sorry, but life is just kind of chaotic right now, and I'm not going to keep making excuses, but it is what it is. But anyway, it's late, but it's here. Better late than never, right? So this month I decided to go with a space theme. I am adding in a little bit of torn up black paper written on top of with gel pens just to kind of add a little bit of texture to the pages. I only have 3 gel pens that would show up on black paper, so I was very limited in what I was able to do with the black paper, but I did want to include it. I also just treated myself to a new set of mild liners, and so that is what I'm going to be using for my color with this, is some of my new mild liners, just because I wanted to use them. So I'm using my mild liners, I'm using my gel pens, and then also my Micron black pens. And like I said, added a little bit of black paper with some double stick tape, and that's kind of the gist of the materials that I'm using. And I just wanted to color in a few planets. Trying to figure out how to do variety with this was a little odd, but you know, I just kind of worked with it and did what I could in the time that I had. So anyway, yeah, so I just did a few planets in a swoosh, colored them in with my mild liners, and that is my title page. All right, and then we are moving over to my lists page. I have a spot for books I want to read, videos I want to film, and then notes that I'm going to be taking. I added more black paper here to actually put my lists and my notes on, and I really like the way that it ended up turning out. I did go back after I finished and added in some like drop shadowing on the lettering just to make it pop out a little bit more, and you'll see that in my final flip through, but I don't have that on film. Then I ended up going back through on this page and added some black stars through here because the silver was so hard to see and it didn't quite have the effect I wanted yet. So anyway, moving on, now we are on to my posting schedule. This has been fairly sparse, as you will have known, the past few months, but I still like to have it up there. So once again, adding a little bit of black paper as an accent. this is the page where everything starts just kind of falling apart, and you will see that here in a minute as I try to tape this in. I cannot get this paper lined up properly, and I try over and over and over again and have to resort to cutting the paper, and then I cut the wrong end first, and it's just kind of ends up being a mess. But it's okay. It is what it is. My philosophy this month was we're just gonna work with what we got, and it is what it is. So yeah, it didn't quite turn out the way I wanted it to, but you know, whatever. So added a little bit of black paper on the bottom, adding more on the top where I'll put my title. And then on the bottom, I go back through with my gel pens and add some planet doodles and stars. And then I will also fill in the calendar there with my micron pen and then outline it with my mild liner colors. And so overall, I like the effect of the way that this turned out, but there were a couple of mishaps along the way, but it's fine. It's just a journal. All right, so there's my posting schedule, and then we're moving on to my growing TBR list and my reading log. So my growing TBR list is where I list out any books that I add to my Goodreads TBR throughout the month, and I also make a note of where I hear about the books from, and I go over that in my growing TBR videos that I do every month. And then the opposite page will be my reading log, which is where I list out all the books I read each month, as well as my stats. So just basic Planet doodles with the same Mildliner pens and markers. So yeah, pretty basic. Yeah, let's see how many times I say basic in one video. I'm noticing now how many times I've said that already. My goal this month though was just to make things as simple as possible, and I think I achieved that. All right, and then we're moving over to my reading log. So I decided to add a little bit of more black paper up here just for the header of the page. And then, yeah, I will list out the different stats that I try to keep track of every month in gel pen, and then I will do my columns will be highlighted in my Mildliners. One thing I don't love about these gel pens is how thick they are. It made it really hard to try to write some of this finer stuff in that I normally use some of my smaller micron pens for, but I just kind of made it work. It looked a little sloppier than it normally does, but I just made do with what I had. All right, and then the last thing I needed to do was to do my little doodle on the title page. As has happened in most of the prior months, I forgot to sketch this out and once again had quite the big oops right here, so I busted out the whiteout, covered it up, and tried again sketching it out first. So busted out the pencil, tried to sketch it out, Then after I sketched it with my Micron pen and went back in and tried to color it, I realized that on top of the whiteout, the Micron pen now bleeds. So then it started bleeding, and at this point I was about ready to throw my pen across the room because I was so frustrated because I was having so many mistakes, and I just said, forget it, it is what it is, and moved on. All right, and here's my final flip through. Here's my title page and my lists page. You can see there my little drop shadowing and the lettering, my posting schedule, and then my growing TBR and my reading log pages. And that's it for this month. Pretty simple. Sorry it's late once again, but I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you stick around and subscribe, and until next time, see ya.